Now, all over the internet, as Kashin Koji's character has been showcased more and more within the Boruto series, a lot of people have proclaimed him to be the white-haired prodigal son, Jiraiya. In my opinion, that's straight blasphemous. Bruh. So, in this video, I'm going to be debunking the notion that Kashin Koji is the legendary Sannin Jiraiya. Also, today's video is sponsored by KOG Games, the developers of L-Sword Season 2. Click the link in the description for more information. Most people say that Jiraiya is Kashin Koji out of pure convenience. The writers have inserted familiarities between Jiraiya and Koji to the point where people are saying it's obviously the same person. Now, I believe that all these similarities to Jiraiya were purposely done. The writers want to get people theorizing and excited. What better way to intrigue an audience other than introducing a new character who is reminiscent of a fan favorite character who had a huge impact on the series. I mean, if you look at the reaction that people had once they started connecting Koji and Jiraiya, I would say that their writing strategy worked. Everybody was hyped, everybody was speculating, it hit the internet like wildfire. Everybody was talking about it. Jiraiya's Kashin Koji? Oh my gosh. Like, everybody was talking about it. With all that being said, it's about time I activate my Sharingan and debunk all these Jiraiya antics. Kashin Koji and Jiraiya are built completely different. If you take a look at Jiraiya and you take a look at Kashin Koji, their body types clearly do not match at all when you compare them. Jiraiya is more of, just seems like more of a heavy-ish built guy versus Kashin Koji, who appears to be very sort of lean and kind of average ish build, if you know what I'm saying. Like, just take a look at Koji when he first confronted Team 7. Just look at his body build versus how Jiraiya looks. It's just not similar to me. Now, this next point is pretty obvious. People are probably gonna be like, oh my, you're really saying this? It has to be said. Jiraiya's hair is white and Kashin Koji's hair is silver. You can also see that their hair is two different textures. Jiraiya's hair is more kind of spikier and thicker. It's like a lion's mane, almost like it. Like, that's how he's able to use his technique, the Needle Jizo. And then on the Kashin Koji side, his hair is more silkier, I would say, than Jiraiya. So just put that two and two together, the hair color and the texture, it's really not Jiraiya in that aspect. According to a lot of people, Kashin Koji supposedly in the latest chapter, pretty sure it was chapter 30 of the Boruto manga, uses Toad Sage mode while spying on Kawaki and Boruto because of the way his eyes shifted. If this was Jiraiya, he would have had Toad characteristics upon usage of Sage Mode, considering that if you watch the series, if you read the series, you know that Jiraiya has not mastered the Sage Mode technique, like Naruto, for instance. Speaking of interesting techniques, I want to tell you guys about L-Sword Season 2. It is a free-to-play 2.5D MMORPG where you get to pick from over 10 playable characters with unique abilities. They've just launched a brand new character called Labi, who has her own special storyline separate from the game's traditional main character story. Additionally, Labi has her own starting area, and that's accompanied with some interesting lore. Trapped within the Black Forest, Labi was confused about who she was until the seal was weakened by L-Sword's efforts, allowing her to escape and unleash her true power. The developers really wanted a completely different feel from the typical characters, so Labi's level progression is way quicker as a result. With that, you'll be able to test out some of the new updates they've released pretty swiftly, such as the third job update, which introduces 3 character classes for at least 3 job paths included with every character in the game, and each path is going to represent a choice within the character's story, so naturally it will affect the lore and how each character plays. On top of that, this update also brings back the Masters of Darkness storyline. Some of the other updates include new skill designs, balance changes, brand new character artwork, and lastly, it should be noted that L-Sword Season 2 is transitioning from pay to win to play to win, so that everybody gets a fair shot. Link in the description for everyone who wants to try out L-Sword Season 2. Which character will you pick? Rasengan is a technique that is known by a good amount of Leaf higher ups. It's not some exclusive technique that only certain people know. I mean, to an extent, only a certain amount of people know the Rasengan, but the concept of Rasengan, even the 4th Hokage, he developed it by watching the Bijou Bomb. Like, by seeing a Bijou Bomb, that's how the concept of the Rasengan came to his head. And when I say it's not some exclusive technique, let me tell you, for example, Kakashi knew how to use the Rasengan, but we never knew until he showed us upon him needing it for training Naruto for his wind chakra nature. So look at it that way. We would have never known Kakashi knew the Rasengan if he didn't need it to train Naruto. I'm pretty sure Sasuke knows how to create a Rasengan too if he was really needed to do one or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I also made a video detailing how you could break down the Rasengan as a mere concept and utilize it by applying the theory. So think about like when Momoshiki saw Boruto and Naruto do a father-son Rasengan. In the manga, he said, "I can make as many as those as I wish," and then he created a similar size Rasengan-ish technique. So it's not far-fetched that Rasengan is really like concept in itself, and that anybody who is of a high caliber and just has a lot of insight regarding chakra manipulation and control can utilize a Rasengan-ish technique. So you know what I'm saying? So just because Kashin Koji has a Rasengan, that does not mean he is Jiraiya. The writing is purposely giving us all these similarities so that people can go nuts. I believe so. The markings under Kashin Koji's eyes are not exclusively similar to Jiraiya's character. A lot of people just made the connection that, oh, he has markings underneath his eyes that look similar to the red markings that Jiraiya has under his eyes. We cannot really make that assumption, jump to that assumption, and the reason that people are making this assumption and kind of jumping to the Jiraiya theory is that they see some of all the other similarities and they just are like, it's just convenient. So in my perspective, I assess all the different options that this could possibly be. So like I said before, this is not something exclusively similar to Jiraiya's character. Characters such as the 3rd Hokage have had similar markings next to their eyes as well. Like when Sarutobi was younger, he had similar eye marks that came down, and as he got older, I think they became less noticeable, but when he was younger, he definitely had markings similar to those. So it's not a Jiraiya exclusive trait. Toad summoning is commonly done by Konoha Shinobi, and it isn't exclusive to Jiraiya. Again, considering that Konohamaru is a new contract holder with the Toads, it wouldn't be surprising to have another secret signer among these Konoha Shinobi. And considering that Kashin Koji says that he has history with Konoha, it's not far-fetched that he could be one of the contractors with the Toads, because he did in fact use a summoning jutsu for the boiler toad. So the toad is definitely coming from somewhere. It really could be the mountain that the toads live on, but at the same time, summoning jutsu is space-time ninjutsu, so wherever that frog may be, it can go through a dimension and appear. Kishimoto's second favorite character is Jiraiya, and as a supervisor to the Boruto storyline, I'm sure that he wouldn't bring back Jiraiya in this manner, especially considering how Jiraiya's return was countered in the writing during the 4th Great Ninja War. It was specifically stated that Jiraiya could not be brought back considering they had no samples and his body was essentially too far down in the ocean. Why would they just suddenly disregard this in Boruto? What are they gaining from this? Kishimoto is very much involved within the Boruto series. He goes over the concepts and ideas, and he does a lot of supervising with Kodachi and Ikimoto. So do you think that Kishimoto would allow Jiraiya, one of the characters that he wrote very strongly, for them to disregard all of that and kind of manipulate this character in a sense to where he's not himself anymore or something along the lines of that? I feel like it just doesn't match up with how the writers would do it. They wouldn't do something like this, considering this is one of like Kishi's favorite characters. You love the characters because of who they are. So for them to just manipulate Jiraiya's character in this sense, in my eyes, it doesn't make sense that Kishi would allow this to go in this direction, considering that he's heavily involved within the Boruto storyline. It doesn't make sense for Kishi to allow this to happen. I do think that Kishi would be like, the fans would like if we basically threw all these hints and all this other stuff, but it actually being Jiraiya, I really don't think that would actually go down. I think that they're trying to get people thinking, they're trying to get people interested and involved, they're trying to get people theorizing, because it's really fun. They know that people enjoy this. It's a fun thing to do. So that's my spin on it.
The name of the legendary Sannin isn't just for show.
I understand that most of the notions of Kashin Koji being Jiraiya, a lot of people are saying that it's some other form or fashion of Jiraiya, and I want to put this down. Of course, if people think it's actually Jiraiya just himself, Koji's personality is nothing like Jiraiya's. He even calls Naruto's house the Hokage's house when referring to Kawaki being at the 7th Hokage's house. So knowing Jiraiya and Naruto's relationship, it would be a bit odd for him not to refer to Naruto as Naruto, just because of how familiar they are with each other. He called it the Hokage's house. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, these Jiraiya theories are out of convenience, my guy. And some people are probably like, hey man, if you're really breaking down why Kashin Koji is not Jiraiya, who do you think Kashin Koji really is? I'm glad you asked that question, my guy. Why don't you go ahead and check out my video called Kashin Koji Sarutobi. That'll give you all the information you need on who I think Kashin Koji really is. So that concludes my reasons why Jiraiya is not Kashin Koji. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What do you think about that Kishi part that I said that Kishi is heavily involved with the direction that Boruto is taking, and it just doesn't seem like Kishi would want this to happen to the character of Jiraiya, considering that people love the character because of who he is as a character. So I just don't really think that the writers would go in that direction, considering how gallant the character of Jiraiya was. So definitely let me know what you guys think. Also, if you're interested in playing L-Sword Season 2, click the link in the description below to start your adventure. It's been your boy Anime Analyst, aka the Young Jiggy Ninja. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.